are a partisan, you will think that your man won last night. You'll give, Tim Walz little grace for his awkwardness, his obvious nervousness about being there, his inability to really fight JD Vance. He seemed to not want to go into the fray with him and fact check him in the way that he could, because he's clearly not as good as JD in being in hostile environments, dealing with direct, pointed questions. He frankly hasn't had as many press opportunities. He hasn't taken them himself to face, the heat and the press. He admitted that he was not a good debater before. We thought it was all expectation setting, but he was actually a lot weaker than I think a lot of people imagined. But I do think if you're looking at it, you probably gave him the benefit of the doubt just because he seemed like a nice enough guy, right? And he really did excited. He did get excited, and he knew a lot about the policy positions. JD Vance, Governor Walz actually allowed JD Vance to up his favorability because he didn't take him to task. He allowed him to sort of make some, obvious untruths, lies, misstatements, and didn't call him out on it. And he agreed with him a lot. He gave him credit for some of his statements. They seemed to get along, and it presented a more likable version of JD Vance. And I think you saw that in some of the snap polls at CNN, that he went up by 20 points in his favorability rating. So, either side, you come out of it, and you're like, I feel like I know about this guy a little bit more, but I don't think people are going out to vote for the vice presidential debate. People who are still undecided, they probably weren't even tuned in at all. And I doubt many ads are going to be clipped around this, maybe some viral videos. Donald Trump seemed to be ready to move on.
Yeah.
He was tweeting about Pete
let me
Rose
jump
in
in
the
here
middle of the debate.